The People's Democratic Party National Disciplinary Committee has received reports on alleged anti-party activities of the Minister of Federal Capital Territory, Nwogu Wike, and others from the National Working Committee. The committee, led by a former Foreign Affairs Minister, Tommy Kimi, was set up to address and manage all disciplinary matters. Wike, a former governor of Rivers State, and others were reportedly summoned by the party to appear before the panel following a series of petitions against them bordering on allegations of anti-party activities and sabotage during the 2023 elections. However, some supporters of the FCT minister believe that the treatment by the PDP and some elder statesmen to Nwogu Wike is uncalled for and seems like a witch hunt. Joining us now on the morning show is Senator Nwogu, former PDP lawmaker who represented Rivers Southeast Senatorial District, and former chairman Tai Eleme Oyibo, local government area of Rivers State. Good morning, Senator Nwogu, and welcome to the morning show.
Yeah, good morning, and thank you.
Thank you for joining us, Senator. Senator, just to know, where we are, on this issue of PDP and Disciplinary Committee, Reconciliation Committee. Are you a pro-Wike or anti-Wike person? Let us just establish that context for the conversation, because I see you are a former local government chairman in Rivers State. Are you pro-Wike or you are on the other side?
For the purpose of contest, Wike has been the leader of PDP in Rivers State, and I have worked with Wike as one of the loyal members of the party in the state. So, me on spectrum, be pro-Wike, but generally, I make bold to say that I've been a loyal member of the party, and my loyalty remains to the party.
Okay, now let me ask my question. There is some confusion about whether or not Minister Wike has been invited by the disciplinary committee led by elder statesman Tommy Kimi. Has he been invited or not? Although we also hear that the National Working Committee of your party has submitted a report on Minister Wike, Governor Ikpeazu, Governor Tom, and other members of the G5. What do you know in terms of latest developments with regard to this disciplinary committee? And should Wike be disciplined?
Yeah, I think in the same context of full disclosure, I am a member of the disciplinary committee of the party, 25-member. Tommy Kimi is the chairman. I'm a member. And we were a little, personally, I was a bit disturbed when the reports came that Wike had been summoned at the time when the disciplinary committee has not even met to consider any of these things. So there has been a lot of misinformation to the public, sometimes by people who should know better, who shouldn't do that, for reasons they know best. And it actually models up the issue, because there is the allegations that are flying all over the place, and even the committee's work is being put in a different light from what the committee has tried to do. The committee is still organizing itself to now look at this function, study its terms of reference before stepping out to do anything. Yet even some officials of the party has gone out to start characterizing what is going on, which is not true.
All right. Last week we had Chief Dan Ulasi, and he was of the opinion that before the disciplinary committee, former Governor Nwogu Wike, now minister, should perhaps be approached by the Reconciliation Committee. Do you agree with that? Do you agree that Mr. Nwogu Wike has a right to some of the things that he did, which some might consider anti-party, including working against your party during the last presidential elections in his state? Do you think that he should first approach reconciliation before disciplinary?
I think we should situate the question more in a better way, because when you put it that way, it's like Wike is the accused, and therefore what leverages are available to him. That's not the case. We are trying to get a stronger PDP, and certainly the issues predate the Wike's functions as FCT minister and the so-called comments that have been attributed to Wike. What has happened is that Wike was a presidential aspirant of the party, and there was a presidential, there was a convention, and there were matters arising which were never settled. And Wike was very clear as to what he expected the party should do at that time. And several meetings were held, some of which I was privileged to sit at, both within and outside this country. And so many efforts were put into it. Wike was so unequivocal and very clear. He wanted the party to succeed, and he made every attempt to get that point out. We call that at that time, Yosha Ayu was chairman of the party, and the presidential candidate was Atiku, and both were from the north. And Wike had said for balance, it would be good that one should be from the south. That has been the tradition. Every effort to get Yosha Ayu to work within that framework did not work. And every effort to get Atiku to make Yosha Ayu work within that framework did not work. So at the end of the day, for principles of party and also for the geopolitics and people's conscience, the party went into the election divided. It was divided right from the convention. Recall again that the way the convention was conducted, at the time, we should just go into voting. Somebody came out and stepped down and altered the course of the convention outcome. There were distortions that the PDP knew but failed to take cognizance of or failed to act on. So up to this matter, those divisions still arise. And it's important for people to talk. Yeah, so the need for reconciliation necessary, but Wike as the person who after reconciliation I think that characterization does not come in. And if it's even important to tell you, we call also that before Wike became Minister of FCT, after Mr. President invited him, he took the liberty of writing to the organs of the party. He wrote to the state chapter of the party. He wrote to the South-South, which is the zonal chapter of the party. He wrote to the NWC, intimating them that he has been called to federal duty, to patriotic duty. And, the party gave his nod on all levels. So when you talk about Wike facing disciplinary committee, sometimes I try to, I'm a member, so I want to wait to see the content. If there's something there, then we work on it. But it's difficult to understand what the calls are about because it's a thing of contest. What breaches has he made of the party's statute? And when you look at those, if there is something to act on, then we act on it. But as at this moment, you have been hearing calls that come from even distortions that shouldn't come up. Okay. Too much, all these things don't help our party, too much falsehood and too much distortion of facts in the public space.
Okay. Senator, Nyesom Wike became the leader of the party in Rivers State when he became governor, right? And you worked closely with him when he became governor. Why is it difficult for you to accept that Fubara is the leader of the party in Rivers State now? And why is it difficult to work closely with Fubara?
I'll give you very straight answers, Rufai. The way party politics is structured, people like to believe that it's an automatic right of the governor to be the head of the party. Even in the First Republic, different people, sometimes a leader of a party is different from the head of government. In the case of Wike, he didn't have a predecessor to hand over to him within the party who was head of the party. He organized, fought, and brought the structure. I recall that at the time of the election, he practically nominated Fubara to be governor. That made Fubara head of government, but did that automatically made him head of the party? The party allows contest. Like the last Congress, there were contests. So if you say the governor is head of the party, should you give him a list to write the name of all the officers? People brought form, people contested, people loyal to Wike won literally the seats. Then people say you should give Fubara. And that is the contest in which this latest Ulabalu has come. Give Fubara this thing. Should you subvert the democratic process?
Senator, can I ask you a logical question? Is it logical to have a man that is not in ground on the state as an FCT minister to be leader of a party where, in a state where you have a governor that is also a member of the party? Does it make sense to you?
Rufai, this is a democracy.
Does it make sense to you?
The structure of democracy, it does. Yes, let me explain to you, because I'm a politician. See, this is a democracy. Let's say a completely unknown person decides to join the PDP today, organizes the party, and people follow him, and he decides, this is the way I want to go with the party. So long as he gets the support, and there's a contest and he wins, he becomes maybe not the word leader, because this word leader does not even arise. The people who get the office become loyal to him, and he becomes the leader of that interest. Party is a collection of interest. Party is not one entity. Okay. It's an organization with a collection of so many tendencies.
Senator, if you can hear me, you're not answering my question. I asked the question, is it logical for the most senior man in a political party in the state, which is the governor, not to be the leader to you, and you say you are a party man, and you are listening to somebody that has no role to play in the state politics again? Is it logical? Does it make sense? Or is it because you people are benefiting from Wike? Like you were said to have collected houses from Wike. Somebody came here the other day and said you benefited from all the largesse of Wike, and that's why you will constantly say everything good about him. Does it make sense? You are saying now that, when Wike came, nobody handed over to him. He led, he took his place, he fought for it. He did it because he was governor of the state. Wike couldn't have been leader of PDP in the state if he was not governor of the state. Why is it that now with Fubara, because you people don't align with him, all of a sudden, he's no longer leader in the state? That's my question. So is it logical?
If you allow me yes, if you allow me, my answer does not have to fit what you want, but if you allow me, the use of the word logical, yes, it's extremely logical that the party can be led by the person who, for relevance, most members of the party align with. And what has happened in Rivers State today is that Fubara has emerged as governor by the benevolence of Wike, but the same people Wike used to make Fubara governor are still in PDP. And most of them have their allegiance to Wike. So why you would think that because he's governor, they should automatically give him leadership? You then have to change the members, because the members are PDP members. They voted for Wike. You see, there's something happening in Rivers State today where most people who voted for Fubara feel betrayed, that even Wike is betrayed. And they stand with Wike. So when you think that they should just give power, then they should leave the PDP. They didn't leave. Senator. And they occupy, or they are the people who are the strength of the party. Senator. So you will like the nomenclature leader to be put on somebody, but in politics and in democracy, leadership is earned. And in this case, the leader of the party is the man that most party members accept as their leader. And they do Wike with all sincerity.
Senator,
yes, please.
I'm sure you know Chief Olabode George.
Yes, please.
Chief Olabode George is one of the founding fathers of the PDP when the PDP was established in the 90s.
Yes.
Now, he says that Fubara is the leader of the PDP in Rivers, except you are saying Chief Olabode George does not know what he's talking about. And then you use the phrase that Fubara became governor due to the benevolence of Wike. The benevolence of Wike. What a beautiful phrase. How about the benevolence of the people of Rivers State? They were not the ones that voted for him. It's all about Wike. So I ask you this question. Some people are expressing the view that PDP should be careful with Minister Wike, that, and he himself has threatened that if anybody tampers with him or his political structure in Rivers State, he will destroy the entire party, and he will even go to the states of whoever is involved and destroy the person politically in his state. Now, is Wike bigger than the People's Democratic Party, in your view, since you say he's such a benevolent man?
I just hope that as I continue to explain some of these things, you can also see it from what it is. One, Wike said, I was in that event, Wike said, if you come to disrupt my state, to destabilize my state, I'll set fire in your own state. It was basically an if thing, a conditional thing. It's a political talk. It is stay in your state, because truly those people have no business in Rivers State. And why you see this Rivers problem continuing today is external interference. All sorts of people, usually Fubra is one of us. Fubra is part of Wike. Wike is part of Fubra. By now, this matter probably will have been over. People will not let it be. You see people coming up either on ethnic platform or on some, fellow governors. These were Wike's colleagues just a few months ago, or a year or so ago. Now you come up and you say, we demand this. And it shocks Wike. Remember, take the specific case of Bauchi. It will surprise you that when you use, there was a time we said G5 plus 1. Plus 1 was Bauchi governor. They were colleagues and they respected each other. So when you now take stance, and the man says, if you come to my state, I'll come to your state. It's a way of saying, stay off. Then everybody now interpreted it, that how can somebody threaten this thing? But they forget the condition precedent that do not come to my state. That was the clear message. Now, on our elder statesman, whom we all respect very much, Olabode George, who can hardly go wrong, we respect him. You should also take it in context. He says that the leader of the state ought to be the governor. Ought to be. But there are circumstances. The circumstances that even bettered Fubra as a governor was the handiwork or the work of literally a single man. At the time he gave the government, he did not give the structure. The man wants the structure. So there's a battle for structure. It's understandable, it's politics. All over the world, there are people of influence. A market woman might tell her market women to go and vote for a particular candidate, and they will vote. The president of NANS might decide that students should vote for a particular candidate, and they will go in that direction. Okay, you even see, like in the United States, where some senators, for their contest, Trump has to come to help them win. So relevance by individuals is natural in politics. That was why I told you that there are interests and tendencies within politics. In Rivers State today, there are two blocks, which has occasioned by the division between Wike and Fubra. They went for contest. Wike won. And Wike won it all. Senator? And many people cannot understand why Wike must win. You used the word, sir. You said a man not in the state. It doesn't work that way. The people there believe in him within the party. Now, outside the party will then be part two. Okay, Senator. Will the party still be strong? And for the River State that we know, Wike can still pull it through. Yes,
we seem to have run out of time. But we'll see what the PDP Disciplinary Committee decides, whether that committee will also come forward to talk about the benevolence of Wike. That's my major takeaway from my interaction.